Hey guys, happy Sunday. This is a impromptu video. I didn't mean to make this. Well, I meant to make it, obviously, but there's Sunday special for me. I kind of don't really do a lot on Sunday, but I felt that today there was a kind of an injustice happening in the Apex Legends community, and I had to take advantage of it and do it. I was kind of enjoying myself watching some things. And the tweet of the day that I mentioned on my Twitter, which you guys can't see here, but I asked, what button do you, if you're a PC player, keybind your crouch to? If you have an answer, let me know in the comment section below. That's kind of the fun question I'm asking everybody. So Respawn has created a series called Respawn Responds, and I thought it'd be interesting to respond to Respawn's responses as Rain Day and see whether they're hitting the tone that I think the community is interested in. As you guys know, there's stuff we've covered like death threats. We've covered a lot of different things that the community's been upset and excited and not happy. So they did this 3-part series. I'm really curious to take a look at it, and I think it's only gotten like 9,000 views on this and like 4,000 and 2,000 views on the other one. So hopefully we can signal blast this a little more and talk a little bit about what they're trying to talk to the community about. All right, so let's check it out, and here we go. Also, good idea I just came up with. If you have questions for Respawn that you feel they didn't answer in this, write it down. So what is Respawn doing with cheating? Okay, here we go.
We're going to hire experts. We're going to build a team dedicated to anti-cheat. And I was
As you should.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
So we just won't have any cheaters then. That's great. And the engineers in the room and the people that are a little more involved in that kind of stuff were like, oh no, this will be a war of attrition forever, right? It's always fighting. You put out some ways to block cheaters, and then they'll get around that.
Sure.
You'll keep working on it.
That's logical. I think people understand that.
A bit. We can't share real details about stuff because you don't share your strategy, your war strategy with the enemy.
That's
right?
also logical.
I can say a couple things though. I think this is a really important topic. We are currently looking into what we can do for players that have had their game impacted by a cheater. This might look something like retroactive loss forgiveness, where you'll get your RP back if we find that you had a cheater in your ranked match, something like that. So that's
a good idea.
But I think that'll be meaningful. We're also
kind of want to comment on several of those.
If you report a cheater, you'll get notified that the person that you reported was banned.
That should definitely be.
That just sort of helps you know.
That should definitely happen.
If you're reporting cheating does something, and that you did something.
Yeah.
We're also ramping up enforcement on players who get boosted by cheaters. So
yeah.
Can detect this.
It's not often just the cheater; it's the person who's playing with them.
So we're streamlining our pipeline so that we can make that detection a lot more effectively. So that'll get better. And then lots of things that we just can't talk about, or really boring things. Like we were making tools so that we can track stuff, so that we can figure out what we're how we're doing. And I get lots of questions on.
I don't find that boring. I like that stuff.
SMS verification.
Come on, Jason.
Or to play ranked.
We love you, man.
You won't see that from us soon, and that's just that we've done our research and we've decided that there's better ways to spend our efforts that actually get better results. But I do think it's just important to for players to know we've got people on this full time, right? Anytime that there feels like there's a surge, and we know that it's just so frustrating that someone was in your match, it's like there might be a surge, but then there'll be a surge of bans the next day, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
We're just keeping at it.
Yeah. So a part of it, the two things he said that really struck me on that one, because I want to get to the next one as well, because it's all about it, because there's a 3-pronged kind of conversation happening here underneath the surface. One is that people are really frustrated with cheaters, and I think that's been clear in the Apex Legends community. I don't know if you play COD, you play Warzone, you play Apex, probably, but other games you've played, I'm sure you've seen, even games that I've covered like Paladins and Smite. It's really hard to cheat in a MOBA, but in general, like hero shooters, anything with aim, it is possible to cheat, and it's easier to cheat, and so that's a frustrating topic when you can't get it right. Having been on the dev side, having dealt with cheaters on our side, trying to be a public face while people were mad at us not fixing cheaters, that was a tough spot though, man. And I will say that it's not about not saying that cheaters aren't an issue, because they are, but it's more about what he's talking about. One, which is, You don't give your war plan away to your enemy. So, hey guys, we're doing this thing with cheaters. We're making it look, this big tweet that tells everyone they're working hard. We're taking this action and we're putting in this software, and the way that they're going to be stopped is by this exact method, and that's going to get them all out of the game. Because cheaters are going to be like, oh, okay, cool, I won't do it that way. Let me look at another way that takes down that method, and yada, yada, yada. Logically, it doesn't make any sense to tell people like that. So when you're dealing with cheaters who are breaking your system, you have to move silently and in almost like a counter strike at the nighttime when they're not paying attention, so that they don't have a way to break your system knowing what's coming to stop them. And that's one thing that I think he mentions that maybe we can have a little more understanding about moving forward, because that was a very frustrating element of like, why aren't you guys talking about what you're doing? It's like, dude, if we tell you what we're doing, then they're going to know too, okay? I know it sucks. We want to tell you we're working on this full time. You act like we're being radio silent. We're not saying anything. Isn't that the common thing? There's no feedback that they're doing anything. All right, that's just one thing I want to mention. Let's look at the next video. If I have any other big comments on that, I'll talk about it. Question. How does the Apex team take and use player feedback? Oh, this should be spicy.
Themselves.
Okay. Wait, look at this.
Like we've got, I don't know, devs are on Twitter, they're on Reddit, they're on different forums. I'm on Twitter.
Can't make a video without the sign on. That means I'm going to work.
Features that have gotten into the game that came just exclusively from fan suggestions.
Yeah.
Right. Like the damage counter that went live in season 8 was something
that's so good. I love that.
Enough, and we were like, you know what? Let's just do that. Sometimes we have to think about how that affects the game in certain ways that might not be obvious to players. So there's a lot of conversation. That's why there might be something that seems easy and seems obvious. Like players want this, right? It comes to us really quickly. Like we find it, the community team picks it up sometimes really quick and gives it to us. And we talk about it. Something like the damage counter is an example. It was like, well, is this going to make people, first off, like what the designer's job will start to think about how can this be used in a negative way, or ways that we don't think about.
Right.
And so like, are people,
it's like the age-old question thing, right? When you give someone free drawing, like one of the big no-nos in any game like this is to give players free drawing, right? Like you may think like sprays or whatever. It's like the ability to write things like that. The reason a lot of games don't have that freedom, and they have like, oh, here's a spray of a thing, or a spray of an image, or like a piece of a color. It's simply because people can say really negative things with them in their game and use them. And I think that's just something that maybe it goes over your head. I remember, really a lot of the conversations at High Res when I was there were about, well, what if they do this with it? What if this happens? And you have to understand, as much as it's making billions of dollars, it's millions and millions of dollars are being spent on the game, and there's a responsibility there. So it's kind of like there's this really weird thing of like, listen, I know this is a good moneymaker for all of us, but also we have to treat this with respect, like you would treat it with a brand. If you're working with McDonald's or Bumble or some big name brand, you're going to have to like, you can't cuss on stream. You can't do these things. So you have to make sure that if you work with someone, they're not going to cuss. If you work, so that's what they're kind of doing, like almost saying, okay, what's our risk detection on this? Okay, is there risk detection that players don't understand? Cool. Obviously, the positives are positive, but are there some negatives? So let's do that. I think this is a great point he's making.
We're going to start poking from a distance more and start sniping more. How's that going to change the way the game plays for the better or worse? We just have to think it through. We put in the game, we test it, we talk about it a lot. A bunch of designers, chatting about it, and then eventually we decide like, okay, this is worth doing. And we just have to be really careful about stuff most of the time. I always really appreciate when
the other thing you said that was really important that you guys maybe don't know is how involved the community team is within Apex Legends and also within design. I don't know if you guys understand the connection and how close that is. I'll explain it a little bit after this video. It's very important.
People are able to express to us a problem that they're having. Yeah. And a lot of times people's first inclination is to go to telling us their solution, which sometimes is great. Sometimes it's like, that's a really creative solution. We're going to think about that, or we're going to just do it sometimes. But a lot of times there's so many moving parts of the game and what we should do for what reasons. And a lot of times it's better to just tell us sort of the problem that you're having, the experience,
Mm,
part of the experience that you don't like, and
mm,
then let us chew on it and come up with a way to try and solve it. It's not. It's
mm.
just kind of the. It's kind of the discipline of design really is to try and figure out the right way to solve the problems. And we always have to test stuff against our design goals, right? Like we have certain design pillars that we always try to anchor to. Um, so sometimes there can be an idea that sounds like it would be really good, but in the end, you can test that against like, well, we are a team game. If we do that, then people will not
I
play
was
as a
just gonna say
team,
that.
and then that will start to spread, and then everyone will be out there by themselves, ruining the experience of trios or whatever. Like you kind of have to think about it in those sort
Mm-hmm.
of terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to think creatively how we can solve those problems in a different way because again, if you tell us the problem, then we can go, okay, well, how can we actually solve that problem instead of if you just tell us the
Someone said
solution,
yup on the other eye.
then
You
we
guys
can
hear the yup?
it's too easy to be like, well, we can't do that. We can't do that thing for these reasons. So I guess that's where the conversation ends there.
Yeah. Okay. So two things I want to say. I want to bring up the community thing after this. I think it's very important what he was mentioning right
There
around
can be
here.
an idea that sounds like it would be really good, but
The discipline of design and the discipline of design and the impact of the negative stuff is really what he's saying is that a lot of players not only feel very confident about what their pain points are, but they also feel very confident about how to solve them. And I think the idea of okay, how to solve them for my own unique experience is one thing, but it is very hard to step back. I mean, I want to give you an idea. If you had $100 million, okay, and you are buying yachts, you are going traveling, I mean, buying dinner, buying steak, buying dinner for your friends, that doesn't mean anything to you. Obviously, I mean, you have $100 million. You have a house, of course, you have a house, $6, $5, $10 million house. Who cares? You have $100 million. Those things aren't big deals to you, right? You have some serious pain points though. Taxes, these elements, all these different things you're looking at, right? And actually not really taxes because anyways, we'll get into that later. But the idea is that you have different pain points than when you look at the majority of people living in the world, whether it's America or whether it's Canada or whether it's England. You look at that, and maybe the majority of pain points are way different. Maybe people do struggle going out to eat at night. Maybe people do struggle with those things. It's really hard as a 100 millionaire to give advice on how the people who aren't 100 millionaires should behave or what their pain points are. So it's really hard for even me. I'm blessed to have been in a content creator design environment to get confronted with my own opinions and see where they're right and where they're wrong. And so I think that's one of the things where it's like looking for a solution for you as a high level player, a pro, maybe someone who's dedicated to the game. I mean, if you're dedicated, right, you're a player who cares. Usually people who put hundreds to not thousands of hours. And that is a very small portion of the people who play Apex. And when you look at that dynamic, it's like, how do we treat the entire populace the best that we can, losing as little as we can on people's experience? And sometimes it's hard from that little, super dedicated spot to look at the big picture. And I think that's what they're saying. Just, we know you're dedicated, but tell us what's wrong. And as us, who our job is to look at the whole, we will try to find the best solution for everybody. So I think that's a really important point. Let's see what the next one is. We're almost at the end. They only did 3 parts. This one's only 1 minute and 52 seconds. Wow, this is quick. Oh, and the community thing, I will get to. I guess I'll save that to the very end because this is so quick. Let's just get through this. It has to do with your feedback. What are the priorities for Apex this year? Oh, I'm excited.
At our 1 year anniversary, a little before our 1 year anniversary, and like in January, we were looking at, I got together with a bunch of, Chad and a bunch of Chad Grenier, the
bunch of Chads.
Bunch of
Oh no, Chad Grenier.
about
He's the designer.
Sort of the goals for 2020. We brought the whole team into the kitchen, which is kind of our big meeting space for the team. And we had a big presentation.
That's where it was for Hi-Res too, pretty much.
This is our plan.
A lot of the kitchen, or we rented out a space.
We want the game to be by season 7. It's going to have a brand new map, Olympus, which everyone knew at the time, right? These maps take a really long time to make. It's going to have a vehicle. It's going to have, all these characters. And like, we had all these cool goals. And then that was sort of what drove us throughout the year. Getting to season 7. And
because it was awesome.
At that point again,
that was awesome.
2021.
Season 7 was amazing, man. I love that map.
We're looking at, season 11 at the end of the year. What do we want the game to look like at that point.
Season
But
11. Uh-oh.
also, what
We're talking
for
about
your
season
question,
11 on here?
what are the priorities for
What do you
Apex
guys
this
want?
year? And I think that what's really exciting is that I've talked a lot with Chad about this, and we're really
Uh-oh, it's exciting.
like currently Apex is strictly a battle royale, right?
Uh-oh.
But we've built these characters in this
Uh-oh.
world that I think players really want to be in,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
even if they don't love battle royales. Right? So
Whoa, 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 whoa,
at a
whoa.
really high level, I'll just say that that's something that we want to focus on
Whoa,
coming this year.
whoa, whoa,
Other ways to
whoa.
play the game.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did he just say Apex might be something more than a battle royale? Hold on. I need to hear your comments down in the comment section below on that one. And I need to know what you think about season 11. Because season 11 is at the end of the year. So if you could flash forward, and we're in December, celebrating the holidays, everyone's vaccinated or safe at least, whatever that version looks for you, spending time with your family and your loved ones, and you're playing some Apex during the holidays, what would it look like? What would it have? What would be the main 2 or 3 features that you'd love to see? Dang, dude, this game is going to last forever. I just feel like it's going to last forever. I'm excited. I'm blessed. I'm so happy. And the last thing about community is that when I experienced at high res, I was almost overrun with community. And I say that in a loving and kind of joking way, where community was so involved that we knew almost too much from an esports side, from a design side. It is next door. It is not even next door. It's in the same cubicle squares. Now, they're not, obviously, it's work from home, but community is so engaged with design. And part of it is that a lot of people don't feel heard with their complaints. Trust me, guys, you are heard. And that's why in my videos and on my channel, I don't want you to get angry. I want you to get educated. Because when you're educated, you know that, yeah, wait, they've all heard me say this thing. It's not like it's falling on deaf ears, even though there's silence. It's that they have a plan in action that requires silence. It's that they have a different goal in mind, that this is only serving me and not the general population. It's that they're doing things for a long-term vision, and I'm thinking my short-term frustration because I lost my rank game. This is what I want you guys to think about as Rain Day gamers, as members of the Rainstorm, and I hope that this might have convinced you to subscribe, or at least if you enjoyed it, just like the video. Thanks so much. Let me know in the comment section below your Season 11 plans, what you're excited about Apex not being a battle royale, what could it be, and I'll see you guys next time.